Hey everybody, welcome to Game Off Podcast. This is episode 44. What do we got this week? We got Ubisoft off, we got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and Immortal Fenyx Rising. We also got a Fireside chat. We're going to talk about the Borderlands casting. I'm your host. My brain just shit there. I'm your co-host,
No,
Brent,
it's good.
a.k.a. Arcadia, along with
Andy, aka Saul Talker, here.
Andy, have you heard about this Borderlands film that they're making?
I have heard about this Borderlands film that they're making, and this is one of those things where there's just, like, you see a bunch of names. It almost feels like it was pulled out of, like, you did Mad Libs. It's, okay, we need a property. Borderlands, good. So it's Borderlands, directed by Eli Roth, written by the guy who wrote Chernobyl.
Name of forgotten 80s actress, Jamie Lee Curtis. Ah, perfect for Tannis.
And Kate Blanchett, because she's a good actress. What is she doing?
What does she do? I don't know. And then the very serious large black man in the film will be played by Kevin Hart, who is known for his very serious large roles.
Yeah.
So
And then Jack Black as Claptrap. Did you say that already? I can't remember if you said that
no,
already.
yeah, this is the one that drives me crazy. But yeah, Jack Black is Claptrap.
This kind of makes me feel like that what was it? That Scoob movie that came out a year or two ago.
I think it came out like 6 months ago.
Did it? Jesus, man. This is like a time bubble that where I
really
can't
is.
Every day is a week is an hour. I don't know how to parse it. But there was that movie that came out, the Scoob one, where they just took all of their established Scooby-Doo casting for the last 15 years and threw it out.
Yeah.
You got Matthew Lillard finding out that he's not playing Shaggy when they announce the cast.
What's he
Like,
gonna
they
do?
never-
Give the man a job.
Come on. It's Matthew Lillard. It's all on us to make sure that he's okay.
It really is.
As a society, we brought him here. We put him into this position, and we're responsible for him.
I already donate 5% of my paychecks to Matthew Lillard's fund. Pay for his food.
That's just general tithing. We all do that.
Yeah,
It's just expected of us.
It's like, oh, no, I'm not saying that. Not bringing the Mormons into this.
It's a thing that we every decade or so someone makes it to an echelon of stardom that it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but we're all fine with it. Mm-hmm. It was Ethan Hawke for 20 years. Now it's Matthew Lillard's turn.
Ethan Hawke. But so this the casting news today was that Jack Black's going to be playing Claptrap. I don't think I'd necessarily have a problem with it if it weren't already for like fucking Randy Pitchford and fucking Gearbox just recasting roles constantly. And we end up here after two voice actors already playing Claptrap, one significantly worse than the original, and now we have Jack Black, who I don't know, like what does he do in that position? Like how do we expect a good actor to play a good role that like Gearbox themselves is already give whiplash?
They kind of
to?
gearboxed themselves out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like what are the realistic expectations for him in this role?
I can't imagine, because like you're already going to be digitizing his voice a lot. So you're going to lose a lot of the fun that is Jack Black that way.
Yeah.
I also don't think of Claptrap as a Jack Black character. Like, it's not... I guess the two are both kind of wacky, but in very different ways.
Yeah, he maybe is like the literal opposite person that you would think of when you think of like auto-tune or something. It's like...
Right.
You don't want to hear his voice fucking auto-tuned. And you want him to be like
has...
expressive and singing and shit.
And he's got that presence that I think works really well for him because he's a larger-than-life person.
Yeah.
There was some tweet I saw that was talking about Jack Black as like the only person that just kind of works in any situation. Like, you could be abducted by aliens, and you would be like about to be probed, and then there's Jack Black walking in the background making himself a sandwich, and you wouldn't think it's Jack Black. It's
hey,
crazy.
Can I get your autograph?
Yeah, like he fits. He's got that kind of energy, and Claptrap is not that. Claptrap has weird desperation about him.
Yeah, he's like annoying. Like that's like half of his character is he's just a fucking nuisance. Sometimes he's funny, but he's still a pain in the ass, and sometimes he's annoying and always a pain in the ass.
Like there's a whole mission in Borderlands 2 about how no one goes to his birthday party.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine a situation where you've cast Jack Black and you can believe no one went to his birthday party.
Yeah. Jack Black's turning Brad Pitt away at the door. Sorry, buddy. We're at capacity.
Right. Exactly. This is what I mean. Like, it feels like it's just Mad Libs. None of these casting decisions make sense if you're aware of what Borderlands is and you've played Borderlands.
Yeah, I definitely am not gonna throw any aspersions about their characters or whether they've played the games or not. But yeah, it does seem like a very weird role for Cate Blanchett and Jamie Lee Curtis. Kevin Hart in the world, I can definitely see. Like he definitely has that like quirky energy and humor to him, but like in that specific role, it's also weird. If you've played the Borderlands games,
just isn't a funny guy.
He's like not the one guy that's just straight shooter, right?
Yeah, he's not telling a lot of jokes. He speaks really kind of like even tone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand why. Oh, I understand why. It's just throw a bunch of names at it, and Borderlands is a profitable thing. But I don't know how the guy who wrote the screenplay for Rocket Man in the 90s is. Oh, but he's also doing the Last of Us movie apparently.
Really?
Yeah, he and Neil Druckmann are writing the screenplay for it.
Oh. I thought they were doing like a mini series for that because they
or yeah, maybe not movie, maybe the wrong term, but he is signed on to write the screenplay for The Last of Us.
Okay, so if one burns, they all burn. Is that the plan?
I guess. Like, just I don't know. Maybe it works. Maybe the guy who wrote Scary Movie 3 and 4 is the good person to write the screenplay for Borderlands.
Yeah. Yeah, it just like. I don't know. It just feels weird. Like, I have to imagine they pull Randy in for consulting, and he's like, "These are my favorite actors," and they're like, "I guess we could talk to them. They don't really suit." And like, I want these guys. He also got rid of what's his name for the role of Reese in Borderlands 3. They recast Claptrap in Borderlands 3. It's like
Can you imagine if they hadn't recast Claptrap and it was still that guy that was originally an employee at Gearbox and who was now going on to voice Claptrap in the film? Like, what a fun piece of thing that would have been for him.
Oh, God. I would love that so much, too.
That'd be such a great story. That would have been so much fun, free publicity for that film.
Yeah.
Just, oh, yeah, this guy did this voice for a game that he was working on at his company, and now he's in a major motion picture with whatever other insane people they get to star in this. Sir Anthony Hopkins as Dr. Zed.
George Clooney is the sniper guy.
What was his name?
Mordecai.
Mordecai.
No, wait, that was the bird. I think.
I don't know. Maybe he could play the bird.
Yeah, that'd be even better.
If Kevin Spacey can play a cat, George Clooney can definitely play a bird.
Yeah, exactly. He's not above it. None of us are.
I mean, I'll still see it. I'll still end up seeing this Borderlands movie. There's no doubt about that. But I'm not going to like it. I'm not going to see it opening weekend.
No. It's really interesting because it seems like they are finally throwing real budgets behind movies now. Like, gaming movies, I should say. Just because the biggest one I can think of before now, I guess maybe is Tomb Raider, but before that it was like fucking Doom, right? And that was before The Rock was like a real star. He was just that wrestler who did acting sometimes.
Are we not counting Final Fantasy Spirits Within?
No, or I mean, I try not to. Who did the voices for that?
Oh God!
I mean, the budget was high, but I don't know if it pulled in any real
actors.
Like
James Spader in that, or James Woods? One of the Jameses?
Oh, I hope it was James Spader. I don't remember, honestly. That was not a good film. That almost bankrupted Square Enix because of the terrible budget. The scope creep on the thing. Can you imagine a world where that was the last thing Square Enix did? Jesus.
God, that's such an weird alternate dimension.
Truly the darkest timeline. Suddenly I'm grateful to be living in this reality. If only briefly.
We're getting a lot of... I feel like this almost has that same feel of like that Assassin's Creed movie, where you almost just wonder, why is this being made? Who is this for?
Who is this for? I didn't even see that, and I've played every fucking Assassin's Creed. It wasn't for me, and I like Michael Fassbender, too.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, he's good. I like Marion Cotillard. I like Jeremy Irons.
Yeah,
so all good actors.
I think that's the trick that it's taken 20 years for people to learn. It's like, you can't just make a movie version of a video game to the best of your ability. You need to make a good film and just use the screenplay or, whatever source material you already have. Like, if you want to make a game in the Borderlands universe, it makes sense, but like straight up adapting the story will never work because it's not that good of a story. The dialogue's terrible. Like, there's so many things that don't work for Borderlands as a movie. So like, there's another topic. How the fuck do you make this movie work?
I feel like it would end up being that kind of 90s or 2000s video game movie where it's just 2 hours of, hey, remember this from the game? Hey, remember this from the game? Hey, remember when you drive around in the cars? Hey, here's a joke about how the cars don't handle very well.
Yeah.
Like, just that kind of, almost Tomb Raider-esque.
Yeah, the Tomb Raider movie wasn't considered very good, and it was like almost a direct adaptation of the remake game, right?
Oh, no, I'm going back to Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider.
Oh, you're saying that's the right way to do it.
No, I'm just saying that I think that's what they're going to end up doing.
Yeah.
Is it's going to be campy and over the top. It's going to be filled with really ham-fisted references.
Yeah.
And moments that are like, if you've never played the video game, it's just going to be an awkward moment where everyone's kind of winking at the camera about a thing that happened. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is a reference to.
And suddenly you're only attracting people that have played Borderlands, which is a lot of people, like 15 million, but no, they want this movie to be seen by 100 million people.
Right. I don't see this turning out well. But I would have said the same thing about a Zelda adaptation. I don't really get a Zelda movie, and I guess we're never going to, so it's not really a big deal. But
yeah. Well, we had that one cartoon, and no one considers that to be good. That was like the one from the 80s, I think.
Yes. I saw someone recently took a 10-minute clip of that Legend of Zelda cartoon from the 80s and recut all the dialogue with clips from Beavis and Butthead. And like spent a very long time finding a perfect it's great. It's fantastic. It's way better than it has any right to be.
Oh god, that's awesome. I love when they do that. There's a lot of those in like the anime community. I forget what they're called, but they basically just do like re-edits of the show and like add new voice actors and stuff and like just redub things that they didn't like in the original series. And a lot of times it turns out better. Like, so they usually do it for shittier shows, so like it at least has an entertaining quality to it, even if it's total dog shit.
Wasn't there one that was famously that was called, I think it was called Ghost Story, where it was sent over. It was actually sent over to be localized, but they weren't given scripts, so they just made up dialogue.
I've heard stories of this happening. I'm not familiar with Ghost Story, though.
I think it's called Ghost Story or Ghost Stories, and it went from like being a serious thing about ghosts to an almost like Police Squad or Naked Gun over the top, just people making weird esoteric jokes about what's going on.
That's the correct way to do it, though.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Oh, now we're talking. I'm gonna look this up after.
Oh yeah, do that. See if you can find clips of Ghost Story or Ghost Stories English dub. It's fantastic. You saw the big news of the Netflix Zelda thing, right? Since we're talking about video game adaptations.
Yeah. How it got canceled because it got leaked, or another Nintendo project got leaked.
Yeah, I think it was specifically Adam Conover who leaked it.
Oh fuck. Of course.
In some kind of like podcast or interview he was doing for someone, he just mentioned offhand that he or someone else had been working on it.
Way to go. Cost so many people their jobs, bro.
Because that sucks. And I think it also led to the cancellation of that, what the hell do you call it? The Star Fox claymation?
Yeah, and they now are not, like, have no plans for any adaptations. Like, that's like a whole other separate reality where now Nintendo is just like a Netflix like all their IPs are just Netflix properties, and we're getting one for every fucking thing they've ever made every 3 weeks. Except
for, when Adam comes in and literally ruins everything.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. We won't forget. No, I'm sure they would have been shite anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, I don't understand how you make a game, take a game that is entirely about unguided exploration and a protagonist that does not speak and turn that into a TV series.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the only way you could ever adapt it is as like this weird art piece that no one would ever watch, and then it'd be like, why would Nintendo ever do that?
Oh god! See, now you're saying it. Now I want to see that. I want to see the weird art.
Yeah.
I want to watch David Lynch's Legend of Zelda.
Exactly. Like, that's a film. Like, that'd be a lot of film to watch. I would love every minute of it. Like,
this goes back to something
Tree of Life-esque.
Oh god, yeah, Tree of that. Oh, that'd be amazing. See, this is it. This comes back to that thing we talked about before, and then we're made to look very stupid about. With LucasArts needing to expand out, and then the next fucking day after recording,
we got fucking dunked, boys.
Yeah.
What are they even gonna fucking do? It's like, this is all the things we're gonna do. Oh, how did you even listen to us? Like, we didn't even release that episode yet, you bastards.
I think that just shows how prescient and what business savvy we have. Because we knew exactly what the right way for Lucasfilm Games, or whatever the fuck it's called, to go.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what Nintendo should do. Nintendo should take their IPs and just load them out to whoever wants to make a fucking movie about their products. David Lynch wants to make a Zelda film? Go ahead. Go nuts.
Darren Aronofsky or something. Let's see it.
If Darren Aronofsky wants to make Star Fox, go nuts.
That's the one. Yes, now we're fucking talking.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's what I want to see. Cronenberg's Pikmin.
Oh! Now you're talking my language. That'd be a lot of fun. All right, we're now.
And it's not like Cronenberg doesn't have because wasn't he the one who did Existence? He's already got some video game knowledge. He proves he understands the concepts.
God,
give him a chance, Nintendo.
That's what I want. Like Pikmin in like the vibe of Spacers. That's what I want to see. Just like Pikmin's head's fucking exploding all the time. I don't know.
This we're wasting our talents here. This is what we should be doing. We should be pitching Pikmin body horror.
Yeah. How do we make these connections? We need to get ourselves out there. We're gonna figure this out. The perfect film.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's a lot of somehow inside baseball for the film industry in a podcast that's basically inside baseball for the game industry. So this is a podcast with an audience of 2.
Yeah. And we've both already heard it, so the listening stats on it are going to be terrible.
Oh, well, please be sure to give us a 3 or 4 star on the marketplace of your choice. Showcase ?
Yeah. Let's. We might as well while we're here.
Andy, can you tell us about Immortan Joe's Penis Rising?
Immortan Joe's Penis Rising is a film that I pitched to Frank Miller just minutes after I came out of the theater for Fury Road. I already had the whole thing storyboarded in my head, and he said, "Look, I'm already on it." And okay, I trust you.
This pitch is so obvious. I've been working on it for years. Come on, man, don't waste my time.
But the problem has just been getting the funding. That's been it. So I'm going to link to my Kickstarter in this episode description to see if we can film this. Immortals Fenyx Rising, though, different thing entirely. I guess I could talk about that for a couple minutes. It's the latest new property from Ubisoft. You may remember it as a game called, I think, Gods and Monsters was what it was originally.
Yeah, that's what it was known as for like a year and a half, 2 years.
which weirds me out entirely because, like, I remember Gods and Monsters as almost like an entirely different game. Just in my mind, it wasn't as lighthearted. It wasn't as bright. Maybe I'm misremembering it.
I do remember it really bright. People thought it was going to be like really in the vibe of Legend of Zelda.
Okay, then I'm entirely misremembering it. I might be confusing it with some PS5 trailer that was shown, and I'm
you thinking of Godfall maybe?
No, yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, this looks nothing like Godfall.
No, certainly does not.
It's got a very Legend of Zelda vibe to it.
Oh, just as pitched. Gotcha.
It was Ubisoft Quebec, who I think the last thing that they had worked on was some of the Assassin's Creed stuff, Odyssey and Syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to that had done some of the Prince of Persia's and the Black Eyed Peas experience back in 2011, as you remember famously.
That's what I remember.
So this ended up somehow going from Gods and Monsters to Immortals Fenyx Rising, which is a garbage title.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Phoenix, even if you spell it Fenyx, is one of those very on-the-nose names that bothers me.
Yeah.
In games.
She will rise again, won't she?
It's like if anytime someone in a movie refers to something as the Icarus Project, like, unless you pulled that name out of a dictionary, that's a very bad name for any project.
I know where this is going. Are we going to the Sun Boys?
Like, you may as well just call it, like, this is our new hubris initiative. So, Immortals Fenyx Rising is kind of like an amalgamation of all the stuff Ubisoft's been messing around with that hasn't been shooting, and then slapped onto a Zelda game. And I say that in a good way, because it is a fun game. I did enjoy Immortals Fenyx Rising. I haven't beaten it. I think I'm maybe 2/3 of the way through. It's kind of hard to tell with these open world games when you spend a lot of time just roaming around and not actually doing the main quest line.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of, like... All right, I'm all over the place. Imagine legally distinct Breath of the Wild, but not the other legally distinct Breath of the Wild Genshin Impact I talked about a couple of episodes ago.
You have a type.
Yeah, I do. Because this one is based around the Greek gods, who are in the public domain, so it's cheaper.
Oh, for sure.
And you don't have to create your own pantheon of interesting characters. You have Prometheus and Zeus are doing kind of this back and forth unreliable narrator thing, telling the story about this hero, Phoenix, and whether or not she's going to be able to destroy this monster whose name was something like Typhlosion or Toreador or something beginning with a T.
Those are all Pokemon.
I think Toreador is a bullfighter.
It's probably also a Pokemon.
Probably. Everything's a Pokemon now. And so she's following in the footsteps of her brother, who was some kind of warrior, some kind of way. And she gets some cool weapons, like a sword and an axe, and she gets these cool little broken wings that let her double jump and glide around a little bit. So you do a lot of gliding around, and it has that good feel like I think it's every Far Cry game where you eventually get the wingsuit.
Mm.
And then you feel like, oh shit, this is fun to go around in. You get that, and you get it really, it's like within the first hour or two that you get that double jump glide thing in cool. Immortals. So that's fun. Look forward to that. And you're just kind of going around it's like a very Breath of the Wild-y. There are kind of waypoints and things in this world that you can explore, but there's also not obvious puzzles that you can solve to get yourself little boons and unlock new weapons that you can pick up and use.
Much like Korok seeds?
Yeah, kind of like Korok seeds, but with a more immediate gain.
Oh, okay.
And not working towards collecting all 450,000.
Fair enough.
And you also have your like challenge dungeons, which are kind of you jumping around in the void and, you know, doing like little platforming puzzles or timing puzzles. The aesthetic kind of feels like a more brighter version of those weird areas in Control, where you're in that other plane that I can't remember the name of, and you're talking to the upside down pyramid static.
Yeah.
Yeah. No spoilers for upside down pyramid static, but that's one of the things I like about Control is you can say a sentence like that, which makes perfect sense, but is also in no way helps someone who's never played the game understand it further.
It makes sense to me, but yeah, you just spoke shite. Like, no one's gonna remember that.
No.
It's like I must look forward to the upside down pyramids.
It was a great part of the game. I like those areas. But this has that same kind of thing. You go in and you solve this little puzzle of jumping and timing jumps and platforming and things like that, and you end up with some kind of boon at the end of it.
Okay. That sounds rewarding.
Yeah, I mean that's basically it. You can end up exploring and seeing stuff, riding your mounts, flying around on your wings, and kind of just doing your Zelda thing. Finding dungeons to go into, finding things to fight. It has that that lock on and dodge around mechanic for fighting like you do in Zelda.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, what you're describing right now is like a puzzle platformer. Like, is that what the game is?
Oh,
yeah. Is there combat?
There's definitely combat. There's definitely some combat in there. No, you get I mentioned a sword and an axe thing, didn't I? I'm pretty sure I did.
It could just be for show. I have swords and axes at home. They're not for actual killing people.
That's because you take that. You're a member of that mole ninja religion.
I don't know what that is.
I think mall ninjas is just those people that go to like the place that sell knives in the mall, like the knives that look like covers of Marilyn Manson albums.
Yeah, of course. Okay, no, I didn't know the term, but I know the people that of which you are referring.
Yes, yeah.
I've known many a mall ninja.
The combat, it feels a lot like the Assassin's Creed games, but without all the takedown stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you right stick click to lock onto something. You can do your giant hammer thing. You can make spears come out of the ground. You can run into people and do shield bashes. You can stay locked onto people and just do parries and attacks, like light and heavy attack.
Yeah.
Oh man, my biggest complaint about this game on this, now I'm thinking about it, the default controls are fucking horrible.
Oh.
I don't know what asshole made right bumper light attack and right trigger heavy attack.
Oh, that's
and
all wrong.
Right and left bumper together are for parry.
Oh, that's all wrong. Okay, now I'm angry.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Oh no, that's the most incorrect you could be.
Thankfully, the game is surprisingly customizable with you can redo all of the controls. You can fuck with the HUD as much as you want. Nice. Almost like you're setting up your HUD in an MMO. Like, there's a lot of customization you can do in there. It was very surprising for a game that didn't there's so much more in that aspect of the game than I would expect for a game like Immortals Fenyx Rising that no one was talking about a week after it came out.
Yeah, Ubisoft's done a good job with customizability in like the meta game, I guess, for the last couple of years. I was always really impressed with the settings in Watch Dogs Legion and in Valhalla, which I'll talk about later. It was the right direction to go in, despite them going backwards in so many other ways.
Yeah, it was. At no point did I ever feel like I was stuck just like, oh, I have to play this with controller, or oh, I have to play this with keyboard and mouse. I ended up doing it on controller just because that's what feels more natural to me with these kind of games.
Yeah. Like,
I can't imagine playing a third-person combat or an Arkham brawler with a keyboard and mouse. That just feels like it'd be really weird.
Didn't you say
but it works for some people.
Didn't you say you originally played Dark Souls with like keyboard and mouse?
I did. I did.
What the fuck?
It didn't work. It doesn't. I also did Mad Max with keyboard and mouse for a long time.
Oh no, that's so wrong.
But for the aiming, I needed the aiming with that shotgun.
Oh yeah, the fucking projectiles in that game are absolute rubbish.
Yeah, they're a little better with a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah,
not much, but a little bit. I mean, I've been playing keyboard and mouse stuff. I played Test Drive 4 with a keyboard, and that's like those old racing games with a keyboard are just horrible.
Yeah, was it Mid City Madness?
Mid-City Madness, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to play it in the computer science room in middle school. They don't have controllers attached to these machines.
And you're not going to bring in your force feedback rumble stick there.
Yeah, exactly. They won't let you. It's like wearing a hat in class. They'll take it away.
Oh God, I'm writing that down. I gotta re-download that and play that again. That and Motocross Madness. See if those are as good as I remember them.
Dude, the cop mode in Mid-City Madness, that was so much fun.
Yeah. Oh man. I see this is a reason to go out and buy a racing wheel.
Yeah.
Play Mid-City fuck Forza Horizon. I'm playing Mid-City Madness.
I'm sure the controls will really hold up and take advantage of like the advanced rumble features and whatnot.
I wonder if someone's put out a ray tracing mod for it yet.
I'm sure it's fully supported.
Speaking of ray tracing, the visuals in what the hell's the name of the game I was talking about?
Immortan Joe's Penis Rising.
Morton Just Penis Rising are okay. At times they look really good. At times they don't. Like at times they look a little muddy. The enemy design kind of jumps back and forth between something that looks like it would fit in a Greek-themed Legend of Zelda game and something that feels like it would be in more of a movie or a video game adaptation of a movie based on a Saturday morning cartoon. Like they just feel very cartoony and silly, and others feel a little bit more grounded but still cartoony in that Breath of the Wild way.
Okay. Yeah,
it's a bit disjointed.
Serious characters or enemies in Breath of the Wild still, like those mega centaurs. Like those didn't look like they fit in Breath of the Wild at all. But
that's a good point. So maybe it is more like Breath of the Wild than I'm giving it credit for. But yeah, that's kind of it. I had fun playing with it. I'm not finished with it. I do plan on playing more of it because it is a good game, and I think if you're the kind of person that is looking for it's like Breath of the Wild if after every one of those little cinematics where Zelda tells you about how she's been fighting off Ganon for thousands of years, but don't worry, take your time. If like at the end of each of those cinematics she said, but seriously, just like go have some fun, go explore, go check, because we're just here to have a good time. Just here to have a good time. So like come help fight Calamity Ganon or don't. It's no big deal. Have a good time. Go make some stuff. Go check out a cave. There's some smoke up on that mountain. What's that about? Go look into it.
Yeah, because I guess that's one of my stories. Is like, is there a story? Is there any urgency driving you through this game, or are you just fiddle fucking around?
You got to go fight Typhlosion. And there's Prometheus and Zeus made a bet as to whether or not you're going to beat Typhlosion. And maybe you do, maybe you don't.
Another one of those god games where we're all just circle jerking.
Yep.
Watching you diddle around.
All the humans have been turned to statues or something.
Oh,
and you gotta defeat Typhlosion to save them.
Is that a spoiler? Is Fenix Rising not a human?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. Who cares?
I don't want to ruin that for you. This has got some pretty deep lore. I don't want to ruin all that for you. It does that thing of sorry to cut you off, but like the narrative does that thing that you kind of had back in the old Prince of Persia days, where it was a very clearly unreliable narrator, and the narrators would be like, wait, no, that's not what happened, when things didn't go the way that they were supposed to, which is cute at the beginning, but when you're like 20 hours in, you're like, I don't care, please stop talking.
Yeah, I think a lot of these like game narrations sort of got the entire wrong impression about the unreliable narrator from like literature. It's like it's supposed to be like an entire ride that you're along and everything's just being misrepresented, not just like two dudes arguing and be like, no, let me tell you what really happened. Like that shit always fucking annoys me.
Look, I feel like you're about to start going off on Call of Duty Call of Juarez Gunslinger, and I'm not going to have it. I've put up with a lot in the last 43 episodes of this, but I will not have you besmirching Call of Juarez Gunslinger.
You're right. I'm sorry. I won't do that.
Yeah, I don't think that this nails it at all. I didn't really care at any point about the story of this game, and it didn't. The fact that I didn't care did not affect my gameplay whatsoever.
my main question about this game really is, and nothing you've said has like dissuaded me from asking this. Does it just feel like a really sophisticated mod built on top of Assassin's Creed Odyssey? Because in a lot of ways, that's how they represented this game.
I have not heard it that way before, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Heard it here first.
There's a lot, because it doesn't have so much telling you what to do. Like, you don't have that big thing. Like, here are all the mercenaries, and here's the order in which they're going to attack you.
Yeah.
Kind of like, here's the nemesis system, but not, because that's patented now, so we can't make that. It's got a lot less of that, and it's it feels very much like they built a new game. It's a total conversion mod. That's the term I was looking for. It's a total conversion mod for Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Did you, now, you played a fair amount of Odyssey. Did you notice any reused, like, assets and stuff?
At no point did it really, like, it never came to my mind that was the case.
Okay.
I never made that connection until you mentioned it just now.
That's something that I feel like I'd just be constantly looking for, just because, like, I don't know, a lot of Ubisoft's history, I'd just be like, where did they cheap out? I want to see it. Like, I need to know. But yeah, maybe I'm a little bit jaded.
No, I should have thought of that, because after, what was the one? Far Caveman.
Far Cry Primal.
Far Cry Primal, which I remember that was one of the ones that got really reamed for reusing stuff.
Yeah, and that was like after Far Cry 4, which like people didn't really give a fuck about anyway. So it's like you're just reusing assets and like continuing this downward spiral.
Yeah, I did not think of that when I was playing it, and if the next time I go back into it, I will be thinking that, and so it'll be interesting to see how much I pick up on.
Well, keep us posted.
Yeah, I will, because I know now that I'm thinking, Ubisoft does reuse a lot of their stuff.
Oh yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, I'll touch on that more in the next showcase segment too.
You know, I think what it reminded me most of, though, was it seemed like they stole a lot of their assets from Hyperscape. So it's mostly a Hyperscape ripoff.
Well, that's the obvious game to rip off, to be honest.
Do you remember Hyperscape? Remember when that came out last year?
You know, on a lark, I was looking through the free games on Xbox, and I was like, oh, Hyperscape, that's a thing. Oh, it's in Season 2. Who would have thought? Hilarious. I don't even know what it is anymore. It was like number 50 on the top played free games on Xbox.
Really?
Like
50?
Below, like, no-name card games you'd like, games you've probably never heard of.
That's a shame. Like I never played it. I never bothered
Stick
trying to
for
install it.
What did it ever do to you? For you?
I did not play Hyperscape. It just as I was thinking of what other Ubisoft games could I reference here that are. Should I reference Steep? Does anyone talk about Steep anymore?
Not anymore.
No.
I thought that studio was making like not a Steep 2, but something along the lines of what Criterion tried to do, where they were trying to make everything's a race, and then the company folded on top of itself and like had to fire 90% of their staff because they couldn't.
Isn't that Riders Republic?
Is that what their game is?
Yeah, like the upcoming sports game where you can like BMX bike against someone who's flying in a windsuit.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that is. And Criterion tried to make that game as well, so I saw the trailer and I was like, oh no. Goodbye, this studio.
Got to get flashbacks.
Yeah, fucking PTSD. Oh.
They're going to be making Battlefield games in a week.
Just that one shitty map that no one ever wants to play. They disable in matchmaking.
Well, at least Criterion's back to making Need for Speed games.
Oh, yeah, thank God. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I don't mind that I paid full price for it. I don't have a problem with like all the stuff that I didn't like about it, like the garbage controls, were easily fixed, or that I didn't care about the narration was easily ignored.
Turn the volume down, blast up Venga Boys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so, Venga Boys actually put out an Unplugged album last year. Did you hear about this? Did you see this?
Like 2019, 2020?
Oh, God. What? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What year is this?
That was a correction. 2020 question mark?
2019. They put out an Unplugged EP.
Decades ago.
With unplugged versions of Boom, 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 and We're Going to Ibiza. Oh, check them out. Check out Unplugged Boom, 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 Boom. It's fucking great.
I cannot conceptualize that whatsoever, so I will have to look this up after.
It is so much better than it has any right to be.
If you remind me, definitely send me a link.
I will.
Okay.
So, about like A+ for Venga Boys and like a solid B for Immortal Phoenix Rising.
That's not so bad.
Yeah.
Not so bad. Higher than I imagined.
Me too. I was surprised. I'm surprised now as we're having this conversation.
Fond memories.
Yeah. How about you? What have you been? You've been playing that Assassin's Creed Viking game.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla is, I'd say it's the third game in the new wave of Assassin's Creed games. It's very much in the vein of Assassin's Creed Origins, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, while it also is probably paying the most homages to the old games in the series, most memorably probably Assassin's Creed 2, and obviously there's a little bit of Assassin's Creed 4 in there with the boat business and the raiding and whatnot. But yeah, overall, so Assassin's Creed Valhalla, for those of you who haven't played 400 of these games in this franchise, because there are just about 400, the assassination part of it originally sort of alluded to a more stealthy actiony gameplay.
Remember that? Remember those days?
Not really. It's been a long time. But nowadays it's a mix of like brawler, like sword combat or weapon combat, a little bit of Souls mechanics now, even now more than ever. There's like, you literally have like the Souls-esque potions that you can upgrade the number of and the potency of and stuff like that. But yeah, it's mostly like RPG, action oriented, exploration, huge world. Valhalla takes place, despite the name, Valhalla takes place in England, in the obviously the Viking era.
That's a twist.
Yeah, what a twist! It's one of the oldest games in the franchise. They've done this for the New Wave 3, where these games are set way back. I want to say this is like the 1200s. So there's not a lot of like huge settlements like you'd be used to if you sort of were playing the Assassin's Creed as it was coming into relevance. Obviously 2 being in like the major locations in Italy, so you had like really dense populations, and like some of the main mechanics are like you standing in crowds to blend and stealth and like eavesdrop on people. These games, especially Valhalla, very, very sparse locales. There's no eavesdropping because there's no way you could hide from somebody on this like barren wasteland of England. Like, it's a lot of what you've sort of probably been doing in the most recent ones, where you try and stealth for a second, you realize that there's not really that many good ways to do it other than running through a bush and leaping at somebody and hoping somebody doesn't see you. So
that seems like a good tactic.
Yes, I mean, it works a lot of times, but it's primarily an action game at this point with RPG elements. One of the things I think is better about this game than Odyssey is that the RPG elements are like really, they're like more tangible. Like in Odyssey, the whole world grew with you, and you basically told the game how much you wanted it to grow with you. So every time you leveled up, like everything would level up with you, or you could put it on quote unquote easy mode, and everything would be like 4 levels behind you. So all that leveling up really did was like change the type of enemies you were seeing everywhere, but it didn't. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like a real RPG. Like there's no point to it really. But in this game, you have like tangible growth. When you get skill points, you put them into your giant constellation thing that's not totally dissimilar from Skyrim. You get really I shouldn't say it's like Skyrim at all. It reminds me of Skyrim, maybe visually only. But
okay.
You're putting points in, you're getting minor, you get 2 points per level up, quote unquote, and you're getting minor things. things like +2 stun potential to your hammer, or plus 1.4 general melee damage, or +2 light damage, stuff like that. Like stuff that doesn't make you immediately feel like you've like leveled up into god mode or anything, but eventually over time you notice it because the world doesn't evolve with you. The world stays the same. It's well tuned. You go back to old areas, and that's when you realize that you can fucking one-shot these fools. But while you're in the current areas, it's paced correctly enough where it's always still a challenge. You're never, just because you were, doing that, like just swinging your swords for 40 hours on end like you would in Oblivion or something, you're not just going to be like a god in any area you go to in melee combat, but then you can't jump up a fucking staircase or something like that.
So a bit more balanced.
Yeah, I would say that aspect of the game is very well balanced. I haven't gotten to the end game yet. I think that sort of lends to one of the things I really don't like about the game, and it's so fucking big. My favorite part of this game, no side quests. All of the side content happens like right where the things are. They show up as mysteries on the map. And you go and you just do a mystery, and it takes you like in a 30-foot diameter around that area, or maybe like 100-yard diameter, something like that. But it's not like you pick up a side quest and then you go fucking 600 miles east and then you come back 600 miles east, which means you're just essentially fast traveling constantly, watching load screens. Simply not fucking fun.
Right.
The mysteries, very well done. I liked how it was just consolidated into this, but still somehow after all that, the game feels so fucking big. So fucking big. It's amazing they have these different biomes, but it just never ends.
Big in a good way?
No, simply not.
Okay, I was trying to read, like, are you talking big, like, oh, this game's fucking huge, or like, oh my god, there's so much?
No, like, that's something like a marketing person would say and have a different inflection and be like, it's so fucking big, like, get out
That's
there.
What I was trying to read.
And I'm like, ugh, it's so fucking big. Like, it's over fucking whelming. And still, somehow, there's, like, not enough of the things you want to do on the map to do. Like, the raiding is probably one of the things you saw from, like, conferences, maybe even in trailers or something.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool.
It's cool. It operates well, but even halfway through the game, I've done like 5 of them, and that's the only way to get this one rare resource that allows you to upgrade your base and upgrade like different shops or whatever in the base. So it's like there's simply not enough of it early on. Like, you need to progress the story. Like, it's not a compartmentalized thing, the base building and the story progression. Is you essentially need to go through the story to build up your base. It turns out to be an indirect way of upgrading your base on a rail.
Oh.
So,
ew. But that's not great.
Yeah, the base building I found satisfying, but also not deep or truly interesting. Like, it always felt good to make your base bigger, but I mean, there's like genres based on make big base better at thing. Like, it always feels good to do that, right? But it didn't feel that meaningful. Like, it just felt like I was picking the most no-brain option to upgrade because of this limited resource. It's like, well, I could either like upgrade my barracks so that like my buddies can get fucking tattoos or whatever, or I can have a fucking merchant in town, which I fucking need. Like, those are the usual options that you have. So
now, is it base building in the same way that like you were upgrading your villa in Firenze or whatever, or you're just like, you're deciding you earn enough resources and money, it's okay, I'm gonna select this menu option to build that thing? We're not talking like Fallout 4 base building.
Yes. No, it's almost exactly the same as I think it was Monteriggioni.
Oh yeah, I don't know why I said Firenze. That's not it.
The Ezio di Firenze, is that his name?
Yeah, but that wasn't the name of his villa area.
Yeah, I think it was Monteriggioni, but I haven't played Assassin's Creed 2 in like 10 years now. But neither here nor there. Yeah, I mean, like you said about Phoenix Rising, it's not a shock that this game is stupidly gorgeous. It's upgraded on the Series X. I played it on the Series X, so it has ray tracing, insane fucking panoramics, insane load times. Like it's a good looking game, and that's one of the reasons I kept playing it for so long. Is that like it was truly breathtaking, but also like. There must be a good game underlying that, because like Watch Dogs Legion is the second most beautiful game I played on that console, and I've tried several times to get back into that since, and I keep fucking failing.
Now, I have two important questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, is there any kind of like a return of that like education learning mode from Origins?
I think there are plans for that, but like in Odyssey, and I'm not sure if it came out with launch and Origins, but with Odyssey it came out like 6 months later. Okay. I think there are plans to add it.
Okay, good. That's something that I like. I like the idea that continues to be like a thing they're doing in these games. It's just such a neat addition.
Yeah,
and it shows a level of, I don't know, of adding something that might not necessarily sell more copies.
Yeah, even if they give away 10 copies to, your local library or something and only enable the discovery mode, like I think that's still an enjoyable experience for someone.
Oh yeah, I remember playing in Odyssey, playing around in the discovery mode, just walking around and looking at stuff.
Yeah,
it's a fun time. Not as fun as stabbing people, but it's still a fun time.
Yeah, the only beef I have with it, and I know this was a major controversy at the time, and this is definitely crossed over into Valhalla, is that they would censor statues, statues, like God forbid there's stone nipples on statues as they all really looked like, and there's no notes or anything. It's like, oh, we've censored this for young eyes who can't possibly look at stone nipples, but it's just like there, and like that's the representation a lot of children will see is like, oh wow, they really like shells on these nude models, and that is carried over like tenfold into Valhalla, because like even in the base game there's shells on the fucking statues, and there's a nudity option that you can toggle on and off, and I had it on because it's like, who gives a fuck, it's like boobies, like
right.
It doesn't fucking offend me.
It's boobies in a game about murder.
Exactly. And one of the early mysteries that you find is like around this nudist colony, and they're not naked. They're all just wearing clothes. And I looked online, and it's like, oh yeah, the nudity filter does nothing. It's always on. Like there aren't boobs in this game. Like it's completely censored. So I don't know what the fuck they're doing and why. Like, I mean, it's a goddamn French company, boys. Like,
yeah, but this is gonna be one of those things where you find out it helps sell games in China or something.
Yeah.
Like that's. It doesn't matter where it came from or what you felt like. Now, it can't happen, because if it had it in there, it wouldn't be able to sell games in this major market.
Yeah, and that's obviously a fucking snake's nest I'm not gonna go down. But it was stupid and annoying and frustrating, to say the least. Otherwise, I guess my only note is really that there's, I guess, a crafting system in the game. It's very similar to the old games. I like how simple they've made it. Like, I really don't want to have 500 items in my Assassin's Creed where I want to smash people. I just want to get upgrades by either hunting the boar or hunting the mining node. That's all it really is. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'll ask after.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, like, the only real problem with, like, the simplicity is that they make these items, like, the higher tier items, only behind, like, later level content. And you have to do the story, like I said. So it kind of sucks in that regard. Like, there's no rare mobs that you can hunt down and get, like, the rare loot and make a super version or whatever. It's just, you get leather, you get stone, you make better thing.
But it's still tied to progression in the overall narrative.
Yeah, for the most part, like building your base or getting certain upgrades for your body, you can really only get like later on after doing story progress.
So yeah, but that's been Ubisoft's thing for ages now.
Yeah,
is like very compartmentalized progress.
Yes.
You can do the next 4 levels however you want. but you have to do these 4, and then you can move on to the next set of 4.
Yeah, no, that holds pretty true. I guess I haven't talked about the combat either. I don't know why we just choose. We opt to not talk about combat in Ubisoft games, and it's because it's fine.
Yeah,
it's.
I assumed. I just assumed that's what it was without you even saying it.
It's fine. You do the dodgy rolls. You do the parries. Gear is not as overflowing as it was in Odyssey, where you were just getting fucking gear constantly. You'll get gear rarely, and you can upgrade that gear, and it'll be part of different gear sets always. So it feels more meaningful when you get gear, other than it being absolute fucking trash, like it was in Odyssey. Like, absolute trash all the time. Waste of my time. I like this system much better. Keeps it simple. Has minimal, depending on your build, you're going to want to use different gear sets, because there's like the way of the bear, the way of the wolf, and the way of the raven, and the 3 trees sort of let you get stronger with one of those ways. But those trees, one of the things I do like about it is those trees aren't like this is all ranged abilities. Like, you don't like playing range, you're not going to ever fucking go down here. It's like, no, there's a lot of good stuff mixed in there. I think the tree that leans more ranged, it still has melee abilities and buffs in there, but also that's how you get the adrenaline increases, so you can use abilities more.
Okay.
Which has other benefits if you've gone into other trees. So there's synergies amongst the trees. I honestly, I'm sort of gushing because I really like the skill tree in this game. But the combat way is I guess because it's such a slow crawl, you don't ever really see it that much in the combat, and so whatever. Combat's fine.
Let me ask you this. This is important. I don't want you to lie to me.
I wouldn't.
All right. Does it still have the Animus and Abstergo in it?
Yeah. It's yeah. It's like Animus 3.9 or some shit. It's more mobile. It still has the worst overworld protagonist ever created, Layla, which started in Origins, I think. Mm-hmm. Layla is the worst. I hate her so much. I hate her stupid fucking face, her stupid mouth. I tried to forget. I forgot. I forgot. Thank you. And now I'm in a fucking rage. Thanks, Sandy. Anyway.
It's just, there's no need for it anymore, guys. No one cares about Abstergo and the Animus. You can just make a game set in the past. It's always whatever. Once you get into it, you always forget about it, and then it just jerks you out of the game. And it's now you're going to walk around this hotel or whatever and be pensive about your current situation and read emails. And it's this is the exact opposite of what I want to fucking do in this fucking game. Please let me back in. It's no, go talk to the janitor for 10 minutes. No! They may as well just take the controller out of your hand and then go tell you to go do a sheet of quick math problems for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
You go collate that. Go take all of that stuff out of the printer, collate and staple it for 10 minutes. You can come back and play your game. It feels like punishment every time. And I don't know why they do it. No, it's no one's favorite part of the game. No one gives a shit about it anymore.
It's truly sinister, and it's just a framing mechanic that they need to, if they want to keep it, they need to find a way to minimize it to absolute fucking oblivion. I think, was it Black Flag where you were first person walking around the office?
Yep.
Honestly, of all of these, I've hated that the least, because it was I don't know, it was different scenery and no one was talking at me and you could actually discover things, but even that was dog shit.
It was, especially you had to go around and you got to hack 4 more computers and read 4 more people's emails before you. I just want to be a pirate. I paid you $60. Let me be a pirate now.
Let me be a pirate, please. I like my boat. My boat goes.
I spent so much time. I was having so much fun, guys. This is still hurting me as I'm thinking about it now. Every time in these games, and it's at least in the Ezio trilogy there was at least that, like, oh, there's like you're running around and we gotta run from Abstergo, and we're hiding in a cave now.
Yeah.
And you've got to do weird shit because you're gonna be a modern assassin, but not really.
Yeah, not really. never goes anywhere really.
Yeah, like they keep like hinting at like, oh, the next Assassin's Creed's gonna take place in modern times.
Yeah,
like, no, it's not. It's
JK.
Just make a game set in the past. You can still call it Assassin's Creed. If Ubisoft, if you're listening, and I know you are, if you made the next Assassin's Creed game and had no Abstergo or Animus, you would not get meta-bombed of people saying, where's Abstergo? Wait, this game takes place in the not right now? I don't understand. All the Mario games have a framing device to explain why I'm in the Mushroom Kingdom.
I care too much about these things.
God, I'm so mad that that's still in that game.
Yeah. I forgot. So I had mentioned these mysteries before. They're the side quests. Some of them are that this fucking monster human Layla actually like zaps into the Animus, and you do these stupid fucking platforming things like up in the fucking sky, where it's just like, oh, the Animus is glitching. You gotta run around as this not assassin lady who you hate and is very annoying for 10 minutes while she just whines and bitches and like, oh. Needless to say, I did the first one, and then I've seen like 3 since, and I'm just like, no, I don't have the energy for this.
Remember back in the earlier Assassin's Creed games, we had to like solve Renaissance art puzzles?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when they had Prince of Persia style platforming puzzles with like traps?
Yeah. That's like, yeah, I remember like Il Duomo and stuff.
Of all the things to maintain from the earlier like pre-Origins Assassin's Creed game, the only thing they've maintained that should have stayed back there is the fucking Animus Abstergo wrapper around the whole game.
Yeah. Shitty fucking platforming. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, well, on that high note, I think I've got nothing else to add about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I did have a lot of fun with it, but I probably got burnt out on it. Like I said, I got halfway, and that was weeks ago. I haven't been able to go back because the world's too big, and I'm just like, I don't even know where to fucking start anymore. Like, this is too much shit to do.
That's every time I play Assassin's Creed game. I get that halfway point, and if something breaks my, I stop playing for a couple days. Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah, yep. I straight up didn't play Odyssey for a year and a half, and I like finally beat it like 6 months ago because the same thing happened. Like, they need to figure out how to deal with that, or just makes the game fucking significantly smaller. Anyway.
All right, you ready to rate some of these games? Or
oh yeah,
just 2 of them, probably. Just rate 2 of them.
Yeah, I guess. Should we note for housekeeping's sake that this is the last 2020 showcase we're doing? I kind of meant to mention earlier.
Oh yeah. So we're the next episode will be us doing our little breakdown of the year, doing our showdown, see how everything goes.
Super Showdown, Tournament of Champions, 2020, Mega Heroes, All Stars. F.
All right.
Where would you rank this game you played?
I'm putting this high up there. I am putting this as my number 6 of the year.
That's funny. I was going to put mine as 6 too.
Look at that.
Well, 2 number 6s. I guess it would behoove us to read them off too, since this is the last time we're doing these. Question mark?
Yeah.
Read yours?
Yeah, probably.
Question mark? The last time we're doing it for 2020.
Yeah,
sorry.
for 2020. For 2020, yeah.
No, we'll be back, boys. You can't kill us that easy.
No, we're like a god in a JRPG game. You can only kill us with the power of friendship.
And 16 boss battles in a row.
Yeah. But mostly the friendship thing.
Mostly friendship.
All right, so I'll go through mine, and I'll just do these from top to bottom, so everyone knows where we are. Top of the list is XCOM Chimera Squad, a game I've completely forgotten about.
This is just your list, by the way.
This is just my list. Number 2, Murder by Numbers, Crusader Kings 3, Hades, Monster Train at 4, Immortals Fenton Sacrifice at 6, Paper Mario Origami King at 7, Deep Rock Galactic at 8, Hot Shot Racing at 9, and Fall Guys at 10. Oh my god, Fall Guys. Streets of Rage 4 at 11, Super Hot Mind Controlled Lead at 12, Genshin Impact at 13, Microsoft Flight Simulator at 14, Doom Eternal was last year? What? At 15, Elderborn. What the fuck is Elderborn?
What
16. What game is that?
That was the first episode of this season.
What is Elderborn? I gotta go do some research. At 16, Animal Crossing at 17, and Captain Tsubassa's Heroes of Soccer at number 18.
It's so sad because out of all of those, it's Captain Tsubasa is still the one I have like top 3 interest in. Like that, Hades, and I guess Doom. I don't know.
Get Hades.
You didn't sell me on Doom, so hey, you're probably the reason I haven't played it. I was really looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. Me too, man.
All right, let's fucking do it. On my list, at rank 1, I got Yakuza 7, also known as Yakuza Like a Dragon in America. Please play that game. I'm impartial, I promise. At number 2, Desperados 3. Number 3, Gears Tactics. Number 4, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Number 5, Star Renegades. Number 6, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. 7, Deliver Us the Moon. I always forget about that one, too.
Yeah.
8, Carry On. 9, Other Side. 10, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. 11, Moving Out.
Moving Out.
Fuck, I really should beat that one. 12, Microsoft Dungeons. 13.
Microsoft Dungeons.
That came out. They said that was a really popular game, and I'm like, really?
Are you where you said Microsoft Dungeons?
Oh, Microsoft. That's what it is. You know it is. Minecraft Dungeons. It's the same fucking thing.
It is. It really is.
What is it? 13, Final Fantasy VII Remake. 14, Ghost Runner. 15, Watch Dogs Legion. 16, Drake. I can't remember if I read it wrong or I said it wrong all that episode. I think it's Drake Hollow, but I said it Drake's Hollow 400 times. 17.
Drake's Hollow just makes more sense.
It does, doesn't it? But it's about the fucking stupid fucking Drake's whatever. 17, Totally Reliable Delivery Service. I forgot I fucking played that too. And 18, Bleeding Edge. Bleeding Edge. I remember playing that one. That wasn't a fun experience.
Is that even still up? Is that still even around for people to play?
They just announced the other day that there will be no more content coming out for the game, which means
no,
they're going to shut down servers in like 9 months.
No more content for Bleeding Edge.
No, no. Oh no, you're going to have to work on Hellblade 2 more. God forbid.
I am fucking shocked that there's no more content coming for Bleeding Edge.
I think at its high point it had like 400 simultaneous users on Steam or something.
It's just one of those games that releases with a roadmap that's just a PDF that says no.
No. Oh, poor bastards. Yeah, that's 2020 in a nutshell.
Yeah. You want to take us out of here?
Yeah, you should definitely like us and give us somewhere between 3 and 5 stars on your platform of choice. But definitely like us, share us if you're a true believer.
Give us 3 to 5 stars on iTunes.
Give us 3 to 5 stars.
Let's wherever fine podcasts are sold, but like iTunes. It's iTunes. I know it's iTunes. Do it on iTunes.
Do it on iTunes. Yeah, for sure. I got to make sure we're not on SoundCloud anymore. But I think that didn't have any bearing on anything other than maybe Google Pods, which I don't think anyone uses anyway. Well, if you find any issues, we're looking to resolve those. Please ignore that. Yeah, find us on Twitter. We've been less active on Twitter lately, just because, life is strange and weird these days.
You know what, guys? If you want us to be active, that's on you. Engage us. We are only as active as the activity you bring to us, okay? So if you're like, oh, why don't they ever do anything? Why don't you ever do anything on Twitter with us? Huh? You can't just sit at home and wait for people to tweet at you. Sometimes you have to tweet at someone else. That's what I'm saying. Take a little initiative. Fuck's sake.
This is the inevitable part of a daily vlogger where they're like, what sort of content do you guys want? Because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah. What do you want? You want to hear us talk more about Franca Potente?
I do.
You want to hear me do my 5 minutes on Diablo Cody? Let me know. It's got a tight 5 on her.
It's true. I've heard it for sure.
That's right. We have talked about Diablo Cody.
On several episodes now. I listened to a few random ones while I was exercising not long ago, and I was like, "Do we really talk about Diablo Cody this many times? Like, how does this keep happening?"
People are gonna think I got some kind of complex. It's just my go-to reference in movie stuff because everyone I talk to, like, oh my god, Diablo Cody.
That's the mind blower. It's like, oh shit, yeah, whoa, you remember her? Yeah, wow.
Yeah, people react like it's some forgotten Nickelodeon show from the 90s. Like, oh my god, I remember Diablo Cody.
Oh yeah, the Temple of Doom starring Diablo Cody. Whoa. All right. Anything you would like to plug this week?
Nah. Anything that needs to be plugged has been plugged.
All right.
Probably.
Well, find him on Solid Talker. You should be able to figure out how to spell that.
Yeah, it's like solitaire and talking, but you tried to write both of the words at the same time.
Yeah, you chop some of those words up, you figure out the rest. It's a complicated puzzle, I know. I'm Arcadia, spelled a little bit funny, Arkeydia. I'm on Twitter sometimes, more active on Xbox, Steam, PlayStation. You follow me on those as well, all the same fucking name. All right, episode 44 is complete. Good fucking bye.